So whenever we talk about current mirror circuits, we don't often talk about the capacitance which are connected between source and gate, source and drain, because in general, it is the common understanding that current mirror circuits are usually DC circuits. But even let's talk about this I input current, which is being fed in I reference branch. Usually we consider that it will be a DC current, but even in sometimes DC condition also, current might be having this kind of profile where it might have some startup kind of behavior, it might have old beginning and then it might get settled. So as soon as the input will start having some transient behavior, the caps connected across the gate and source, gate and drain will start coming into picture because this current mirror will start working as a low pass filter. That means it will allow to pass the low range of frequencies, but it will block the high range of frequencies. And even in so many high-speed applications, this high reference current usually have a lot of toggling or frequency kind of profile. So there we need to, so there this capacitance become more dominant. So that is why it's very important to understand how this current mirror circuit works under the frequency changing phenomena. So we need to basically understand the frequency response of this current mirror circuit, and we are going to derive the transfer function of this current mirror circuit in this question here. So first of all, there are two important nodes in this circuit. The first node is, let's call this gate node as X, and the voltage here will be equal to Vx. And the second important node is this output node Vout. So we need to write some equation for this Vx node and Vout node, and then we will be able to get the transfer function here. If I talk about first Vx node, so if you see this MOS M1, this is diode connected MOS. And if I have to write the small signal equation, this diode connected MOS will be replaced by one resistor whose value would be equal to 1 upon Gm into 1. Correct? Now if I talk about the total capacitance which this node X will see, so I can write Cx will see one cap through this CGD from MOS M1, gate and drain cap through MOS M1. The other cap it will see between gate and source of MOS M1, so that would be CGS1. The other cap it will see between gate and source of MOS M2, that would be equal to CGS2. There would be some parasitic capacitance also. When this MOS M1 and M2 will be connected through interconnect, some parasitic caps will come into picture, but that will be very less capacitance value. So let's ignore them for this calculation purpose. Now if I talk about this MOS M2, this is a voltage controlled current source. So the current value I out would be equal to Gm into Vgs. Gm for this MOS is Gm2. Since we are talking about small signal model, so this DC source will be considered as 0, Vd will be 0. So Vgs would be nothing but Vx here. So this will be the value of I out here. Now there is one more cap if you see here which is connected between gate and drain of this MOS M2 CGD2. This is special cap because it is making a feed forward path from output to input. So this is connected between I out and gate of this MOS M2, so it will feed output current into the gate current, and it will play a very important role in its pole and zero analysis that we will discuss later. So for now, let's try to write the KCL at node X. So if I write KCL at node X, so there would be three current which will come at node X. The first current would be going into the diode connected load. The second current would be accumulated across this total capacitance at node X. And the third current will be this feed forward current which will come through this CGD2 gap. And this total accumulation of all these three current would be equal to I input. So let's try to write this equation. I can write I input should be equal to current in diode connected load can be written as Gm1 into Vx plus current across the capacitor at node Vx can be write as C dV by dt, that means Cx into dy dt of node Vx. Now the third current, which will be feed forward current, that will come because of the CGD2 cap, so that can be written as C ZD2 d by dt between Vx and Vout. This current is coming, so this should be equal to Vx minus Vout. This is the equation. Now we can write this equation in Laplace form also. So if I write this equation in Laplace form, I will write it as gm1 into vx. d by dt can be replaced by s in Laplace, so it will be equal to s cx into vx plus the d by dt will again replace by s, so we'll get s cgd2 into vx minus v naught equal to I in. Let's call this as equation 1. Now let's try to write the same KCL equation at node V out. So again at V out, if we talk about the total current, there would be 3 current. The first one would be through this MOS M2 which we have written here, GM2Vx. The other current will be get accumulated in this load which is connected across this V out in CL. And the third current would be this current because of the CGT2. So let's try to write this also. So ultimately the current through this MOS M2 which is GM2 into Vx should be equal to current which is going in this load, which will be equal to CL into d by dt of V naught plus the other current would be CGD2 into d by dt of V naught minus Vx. Now again, if we write in Laplace format, so it will be gm2 into Vx s CL V naught plus s CGD2 into V naught minus Vx. If I simplify this further, let's bring all the Vx term at one side, so I can take Vx as common. I will get gm2 plus s into CGD2. And if I take V naught term as a common, so I will get SCL plus SCGD2. I can write Vx from here, and that would be equal to S into CL plus CGD2 divided by GM2 plus S into CGD2 into V naught. This is the Vx value which we have obtained. Now if I put this Vx value from here in equation 1, I will get V naught upon I in, and that's what we need to find. We need to ultimately find V naught upon I in. So in order to find that, let's put this value of Vx which we have calculated in equation 1. So I can write this equation 1 as gm1. I can take Vx as a common here directly, so I can write gm1 plus s into cx plus cgd4. This s can also be taken as a common into s into cl plus cgd2 divided by gm2 plus s into cgd2 into V naught minus of s into cgd2 V naught equal to I in. If I solve this further, if I arrange it further, I will get V naught upon I in would be equal to gm2 plus s into cgd2 divided by s into cl plus cgd2 into gm1 plus s into cx plus cgd2 minus cgd2. This will be the value which we will get here if I write V naught upon I in. Now this is the transfer function which we have derived for this current mirror circuit. So it is very much evident from here, if you start increasing the sizes of MOS M1 M2, that means you will start increasing the capacitance value, If you will increase the value of cap here, your mirror will become more and more slower. That means the pole will move forward more on the left side, and that means your bandwidth will reduce. So your mirror will be able to support low range of frequencies only. So if I have to write the value of pole and 0 from this transfer function, so 0 is pretty much easy. I need to equate this numerator part equal to 0, and if I do so, I will get GM2 plus SCGD2 equal to 0. I can write the value of 0 would be equal to minus of GM2 divided by CGD2. This is 0. And if I have to write pole, so if you see here, the dominant pole would be this term GM1 into SCX plus CGD2. So if I make this term equal to 0, GM1 plus S into Cx plus CGD2, if I make this term equal to 0, so I will get pole value would be equal to minus of GM1 divided by Cx plus CGD2. This is the value of pole for this current mirror. Also from this transfer function, it is quite evident that this is not the first order system. Current mirror have multiple poles here, multiple poles here in the system. So it's a non-linear multi-order system. But this will be the dominant pole for this system. From this whole equation, we have tried to explain you how high frequency can be the bottleneck for this current mirror because of this junction capacitance and because of the sizings of this current mirror circuit. So in general, we don't often talk about this thing because we consider current mirror as a DC circuit, but as soon as the inputs start changing or start having some transient behavior, the capacitance will become dominant and you will start seeing the frequency response behavior of the current mirror. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any question, you can put in comment. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe.